I did this question, right? Because what has to happen is this. She's repaying the loan on a monthly basis, but she only starts paying the loan 4 months after the loan was granted. Now, remember, there always needs to be a gap of 1. Now, that could be 1 month, or it could be 1/4 of a year, or it could be 1/2 of a year. It depends on how often she's repaying it, okay? So here, the loan needs to grow for 3 months so that there's a 1-month gap before she starts paying it off. So in other words, our p-value of 80,000 has to grow for 3 months because there needs to be a 1-month gap. So 0,12 over 12 to the power of 3. For 3 months, it's going to grow. 1-month gap, and then Mandy is going to start paying it off. All right, so what she's paying off is the x, 1 minus 1 plus 0,12 over 12. And now we have to say to her, okay, she's taken out a 10-year loan. All right, she only starts paying the loan off after 4 months. Right, so the loan has grown for 3 months. How many payments is she required to make? So here in this case, all right, because it's had to grow for 3 months before she starts paying, it means that she's got to make 117 payments. Okay, 117 payments. All right, so that's how I did it. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. And then, of course, in order to be able to solve for x, you've got to cross multiply and then divide by the square bracket. Okay, so when you pop that into your calculator, you end up with what did I get? 1198,33, 1198,33. Oh, shame, Cassandra. That happens so often, hey, where we write something down and we think it's wrong and then it was actually correct. Okay. How does everybody else feel? Tyler, Tisha, Hope. Is this making sense? Why I've done it this way? Okay. All right. So Tisha, remember when we use the present value formula, there's always got to be a gap between when the loan is granted and when you start paying, right? So it just depends on the repayment conditions of the loan, because either the loan can be repaid monthly, or we've seen situations where it's repaid quarterly, or even situations where it's repaid every 6 months. We've actually seen ones like that. We've done these sorts of questions in Watobe as well. So here, the loan needs to grow because she starts paying 4 months after the loan was granted, right? So in other words, the loan is granted and then it needs to grow for 3 months, and that's when she starts paying. So essentially here at T0, this is where the loan is granted, all right? T1, T2, T3, T4, and now she makes her first payment of X. So what's got to happen is that this present value amount of 80,000 Rand has to grow for 1, 2, 3 months. Okay, then there is the 1 month gap between T3 and T4, and then she starts paying. Okay. So which means that yeah, they would be, because she's paying it back over 10 years. Okay, so because she hasn't paid 1 month after the loan was granted and the loan is now growing for a period of 3 months, it means she would make 117 payments if she still wanted to repay it within that period of 10 years. Okay. All right, does that make sense to you? Okay, so that's why I wanted us to practice a few more of these, because they are difficult. And it's very easy for us to get little bits and pieces wrong. There is something else that I wanted to show you today. Let's just see. Okay, was this one. So we can always come back and have a look at that question. But over here, let's have a look at this one. All right, so again, this is a little bit more difficult. It's something a little bit different to what we've seen before. So how long will it take to repay a loan of 400,000 Rand if the first quarterly payment of 17,000 Rand is made 3 months after the granting of the loan, and the interest rate is 16% per annum compounded quarterly? Okay, so what letter in the present value formula are they asking us to calculate here? Matrix, what letter? If it says how long, what do they want from us? They want the value of, there we go. Okay, they want the value of n, quite right. Okay, so you're going to use logs because you're calculating n. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys try this and then we can talk about it, okay? We can share our answers again. All right, so we know we're going to calculate n, and then it's quarterly payments, and it's paying, the first quarterly payment is made 3 months, in other words, 1 quarter, in 1 quarter's months or 1 quarter year's time after the granting of the loan. Okay, I'm not going to say anything else. I'll let you guys try it. Yes, yes, it is present value because it's a loan. Okay, Boche Paul? No problem. Okay, so I see Thelma's put an answer up there. Anyone else got an answer to share? Okay, there we go. Okay, so Taniko, you are saying the same as Thelma. You just rounded it off, just a little bit confused. Okay, so Kaiser, I'm going to do it with you guys now. That's it. Can you see there? Quite right. Okay, good job, everybody. All right, so if they want to know how long, it means we've got to calculate the value of n. Okay, all over 0.16 divided by 4. Okay, so in my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, the easiest way for you guys to set this out is to cross multiply the 400,000 with the 0.16 divided by 4, and then divide by the 17,000. Okay, and then what you can do is you can take the bracket with the base in it, because it's got a negative in front of it, you can take it over to the other side and then bring the number over here. So in other words, what I'm doing is this, I'm saying 400,000 times 0.16 over 4 is divided by 17,000 is what? So 16 over 17, and it's easier for you to just leave it like that than write out all those decimal places. So we've got 16 over 17 equals 1 minus 1 plus 0.16 over 4 to the negative n. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this term, the bracket, the base, over to the left-hand side. So now it's going to be positive on the left-hand side. 0.16 over 4 to the negative n, and then on this side we've got 1 minus 16 over 17. Okay, so now what is in our bracket is our base, and what's on the right hand side is now our number. So if we want to write that in decimal form, here we'd have 1.04 to the negative n, and then on the right hand side, okay, it's a bit long to write it out as a number, but you have to do that. I think it's just much easier to write it as 1 over 16. Okay, so 17 over 17 minus 16 over 17 is, oh, sorry, that's not correct. It's 1 over 17. Sorry, let me just delete that. Not 1 over 16, it's 1 over 17. Okay, like so. All right, and then we're going to go n minus n equals log base number, and we would end up with negative 72,237 blah 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 blah. So that means that n is equal to 72,24, like most of you had said. Okay, all right, so that would be 73 quarters. 73 quarters. Okay, which is to pay off the loan. Okay, how's everybody feeling? Is it making sense? We happy? Cool. Hope, why do you want to divide by 4? You mean to work out how many years? You can do that if you want to, Hope. Yeah, absolutely, you can. Write your answer in years, that's fine. So the question didn't specify how they wanted the answer. So if we say 73 quarters, or you say however many years, no problem. I shall go for it, of course.
Ma'am, so you know, when we're calculating the n value, do you always round up the number? Because,
well, you see,
yeah,
so now, good question, Aisha, very, very good question. The reason why I'm saying it would take 73 quarters to pay off the loan is because if there were 72 payments, if it was paid off by 72, then the loan wouldn't be paid off because of that decimal. Does that make sense to you? Because there would still be a little amount outstanding. If we said 72 quarters, there would still be 0.24 that would be required to be paid off.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Does that make sense to you? That's why I
Yeah.
rounded it up to 73 in this case, even though it's 72.24 and you would want to round it down to 72. Okay, but there would be one smaller payment that would be required to settle the loan.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem, anytime. Okay, and in fact, with the previous class, we were actually working out how you would calculate what that smaller amount would be. Okay, Boyd Shepherd, which answer are you not? You mean the 73? Okay, so in other words, what I'm saying is this, Boyd Shepherd, if this person makes 72 payments of 17,000 Rand, the loan is not paid off because there is a decimal here. So 72 payments of 17,000 Rand does not pay off the loan. So the person needs to make another payment to pay off the loan. It might not be 17,000 Rand, it'll be smaller than 17,000 Rand, but it is an additional payment in order to settle the loan. Does that make sense to you? So because it's 72.24, because it's part of another whole, all right, and we can only make whole numbers of payments, there would have to be 73 payments and not 72 to settle the loan. Okay. So even if you paid less money, it's still seen as another payment, isn't it? Pleasure. No problem. Okay, so if we're all happy, and please do ask if you're not, that's why we're here. I would like to go on and try and talk a little bit about outstanding balance before we bring all of this to a close. I can't believe we've already had 6 lessons on this stuff. There's so much more we could discuss, hey. But yeah, I do want to talk about outstanding balance because it is something that always gets asked. Okay, so yes, Kaiser, 72 would actually be wrong because then the loan would not be paid off. Okay, it would have to be 73. Okay. All right. So, if I were to ask you, no problem. If I was to ask you what an outstanding balance is, how would we explain that in just sort of simple English? What does it mean when we're calculating an outstanding balance? Can anybody tell me what you think that means?
You can also unmute yourself if you want to answer, ma'am.
There we go, Kaiser. Yeah, and you're right to a certain extent, can you see? It's the amount of money that we still that is not paid off. Quite right, Tisha, but the money that is left to pay. Beautiful. So all of you have said it in a slightly different way, but through all of your answers, I can see that you understand what the question is. Absolutely. So your outstanding balance means how much more do you still owe on the loan? You've made a certain number of payments, but the loan's not finished. How much more money do you still owe the bank at that particular point in time? Okay, so that's really nice. And this is something that always gets asked, as I was saying, so it's really important that we're able to do this. Now, the formulae that we use to calculate outstanding balance is not a formula that's on our formula sheet necessarily. There are 2 ways that we can do it. So either we can use the present value formula, or we can use outstanding balance is the future value of the loan. So we can either do it by present value, so P equals X, 1 minus 1 plus I to the minus N, all over I. Or the other way that we can calculate outstanding balance is our outstanding balance is our value of our loan minus the future value of our payments. Okay, which I think if we understand the future value formula, the future value of the payments subtracted from the value of the loan, it makes sense that that would be our balance outstanding, how much more money we still owe on our loan. Now, when we do it this way, so A is going to be our p-value, 1 plus I to the power of n minus, and this is x, 1 plus I to the n minus 1 over I. The method on the right-hand side is the one that, I don't know if your teachers told you this at school, but I know I certainly tell this to my chicks. This is our preferred method, right? And the reason why this method is preferred is because it always, always, always works, okay? The one on the left works only in a certain situation, all right? So the one on the right is always going to work. What you need to remember, though, is that when we are working with the formula on the right-hand side, this n over here is the number of payments that have already been made. So this is the number of payments already made. Okay, and you are always going to know how many payments have been made. Okay, in every situation where they want you to calculate the outstanding balance, they have to give you that information or give you a way to be able to work it out. Okay, otherwise they cannot ask you this question. So you need to know how many payments have been made. What is different when you use present value, even though it seems like it, and it probably is much quicker and easier because it's just one little thing that you need to write. Here, the n is different. Okay, here, this is the number of payments that still need to be made. Now, you may not always know that because they don't always have to tell you the length of the loan. They can, but they don't always do that. So if they don't tell you how long the loan is for, you've got no way of knowing how many payments still need to be made in order to pay off the loan. All right, so you can use both. They'll give you a slightly different answer. I mean, it's out literally by like a rand in some sense or whatever the case is. But you can only use the present value formula when you know how many payments still need to be made. Okay, the one on the right-hand side, as I was saying, the one that is the preferred method, you will always know how many payments have already been made. So it's simply a case of reading the question and then going and subbing in. So if we have a look at the example that I have given you over here, Sandy takes out a loan of 120,000 Rand for home improvements. The loan is taken over 4 years, so they tell us how long it is for at an interest rate of 12% per annum compounded monthly. Calculate the monthly payments. Oh, that's our exam question. So let me just move this down and out the way. Okay, so Sandy takes out a loan of 120,000 Rand for home improvements. The loan is taken over 4 years. Calculate the monthly payments if the first payment is made 1 month after the loan is granted. So standard question. All right, now they want us to calculate the outstanding balance after the 20th payment has been made. So what I want to show you here, all right, is not actually how to do A, although we've got to do that in order to be able to answer the question, but it's the two different ways in which you can calculate the outstanding balance. First, let's just work out what Sandy's monthly payment is going to be, and we've certainly had lots of practice with that, so that shouldn't be difficult for us. Okay, so Sandy's loan is for 120,000 Rand. We want to work out her monthly repayments. 1 minus 1 plus her interest rate is 12% per annum compounded monthly, and it's for a period of 4 years. So it's going to be minus 4 times 12 over here, and then over 0.12 over 12. So Sandy's monthly repayment is going to be, let's just work this out. You guys are obviously welcome to work it out as well. We can all check that we've got the same answer and that it's correct. Okay, you can share what you guys are getting as well in the chat. Yeah, I get exactly the same thing. Yeah, 100%. Good, well done, Matrix. Nice. Okay, so this should be sort of quite simple for us by now. We've practiced quite a lot of these. So 3160,06. Nice. Okay, lovely. So now let's go on and go and do part B. So let's look at the two different ways in which we are able to do this. All right, let's consider present value first. All right, so now we want to calculate the balance outstanding, so the present value of the annuity, okay, when there are still how many payments that need to be made. So calculate the outstanding balance after the 20th payment has been made. So how many payments are being made here? There are 48 of them. If Sandy has made 20 payments, it means that she still needs to make another 28. All right, so here, this is going to be X3 160,06, 1 minus 1 plus, what's her interest rate? Is it still 12%? Oh, of course. Okay, so it's still 12% compounded monthly, so that's 0.12 over 12. She has to make another 28 payments all over. All right, and then we can work out what the answer is. And again, you do that, see what you get. Yeah, me too. I'm also getting that. So she still owes 76,841 Rand and 43 cents. Okay, so some of us have just got slightly out, but okay, that's fine. 42, I think, is more correct than anything else. Okay, lovely. Yes, well done, guys. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let me just... There we go. Okay, good job. Now let's do the same calculation, but let's use the other formula. All right. So now we're going to say outstanding balance is the value of the loan. Okay, so now the value of the loan is 120,000. Often what happens here is that people write X instead of A. Okay, so just be careful of that. All right, so it's A minus FV. So A is 120,000. 1 plus. How many payments have been made? 20. So over here, 0.12 over 12. This also has to be to the power of 20 minus the future value of our payments. So we need 3160.06. 3160.06. 1 plus 0.12 over 12. There are 20 payments remaining all over. Okay, like so. All right, Kanatili, that was to you. Okay, so what are we getting here, guys? Okay, thanks, Tyler. Anyone else getting the same answer as Tyler? It shouldn't be that different. It should only really be out by a couple of rands. Yeah, that's better. Kaysa, is that using the second method, hey? Yeah. There we go. 100%. Like it, honestly, it shouldn't be out by much. There we go. There we go. Okay, nice. Well done, everybody. Okay, so do you see the difference in the two methods? Okay, so if you want to use present value, no problem. You're welcome to go and do that, but you need to know how many payments are remaining. Okay, the other method is always going to work. Be careful that you write A and not X when you're writing A, and that is the number of payments that have already been made. Okay, nice. Good job, everyone. Hopefully we're feeling good about the basics here. So what I'd like to do for the remaining time is just go and have a look at this exam question. So this is straight out of last year's end of year paper. And the reason I wanted us to be able to do this is because it's actually quite nice. Like there's like a little story here about Thabo buying his house and what happens. And it ends off with a nice sort of problem-solving sort of question. All right, so let's do this together. Thabo wants to save 450,000 Rand to put down as a deposit on a house on the 30th of June 2018. So he deposits a fixed amount of money at the end of every month into an account earning interest of 8.35% per annum compounded monthly. His first deposit is made on the 31st of July 2013 and his 60th deposit on the 30th of June 2018. Calculate the amount of money he deposited each month. Okay, so what formula do we think we should be using in this case, Matrix? Quite right, future value because he's saving money. Okay, let's do it. All right, so in 8.3.1, we want to calculate the monthly deposit, he wants to save 450,000 Rand. We're calculating X. 1 plus his interest rate is 0.0835 all over 12. How long is he doing this for? Okay, so his first deposit is made on the 31st of July 2013, and his 60th deposit is made on the 30th of June 2018. So he's making 60 deposits, okay, of X, whatever X ends up being. All right, all over, and I'm just going to move this down a little bit. 0.0835 all over 12. Okay, you guys can work out X. Tell me what you get. Yeah, that's what I got too, Kaiser, when I did this question. I also got 6068,69. Okay. Okay, so they would have given us a mark for subbing into the correct formula, a mark on the N, and a mark on the answer. Okay, are we all ready to go on to 8.3.2? Are we feeling good, Matrix? Good. Okay. All right. Now, part A. Talbot now buys a house that costs 1.5 million, and he used his savings as his deposit. All right. He obtained a home loan for the balance of the purchase price at an interest of 12% per annum, compounded monthly over 25 years. He made his first monthly installment of 11,058 Rand and 85 cents towards the loan on the 31st of July 2018. Okay, so now the first thing that they've asked us to do is calculate what will the outstanding balance be on the loan as of the 30th of June 2039, which is 21 years after the loan was granted. Okay. So outstanding balance. Can we use both methods in this case? So when I say both methods, so present value or as A minus FB, can we use both of those methods in this situation? Yes, absolutely, because we know what the end date is. Okay, so they've told us here, all right, so what will the outstanding balance be on the 30th of June, 2039? All right, so that means that we have a way of being able to work out how many payments he still needs to make. All right, he's made 21 years of payments. We can still work out how many payments he needs to make. All right, so we can do it that way. All right, or we can work out the longer method, how many payments he has already made. I'm happy to do both. I'm just wary of the fact that we are running out of time here. So, okay, let's just get on with that. Okay, so as far as B is concerned, the outstanding balance is paying 11058,85 every month. 1 minus 1 plus his interest rate is 12%. Compounded monthly, and now we need to work out how many payments does he still need to make. He's been paying the loan off for 21 years. Remember, it was a 25-year loan. How many more payments does he still need to make? Can anybody tell me? Unfortunately, not Kaiser, but you're pretty close. It's less than that. Okay, remember, no. There we go, 48. All right, why is it 48? Okay, because he's paid off, well, he's been paying for 21 years. He has to pay for 25. So that means there's 4 years that he still needs to pay. So 12 months a year for 4 years is 48 payments. Okay, so that's where the 48 comes from. So minus 48. Over that. And I did these questions ahead of time. I ended up here, and again, you can check me. I got an answer of 419 Rand, 948,32. If we wanted to do it the other way, I just want to show you this very quickly, just so that you do know, right? If we had done it the other way, outstanding balance would have been the value of his loan. Okay. And remember, we would have had to subtract his deposit. Okay, so that's why it's 105000, because remember he put down the deposit of 450,000. Number 12, and he has made 12 payments a year for 21 years. Okay, not that that's number of payments, it's the number of times it's just compounded, but there we go. 11085,58. This is now a future value. 1 plus 0,12. Sure, this is certainly a long method, isn't it? And he has made 21 years of payments once a month. 0,12 all over. And here we end up, can you see a very similar answer, but just slightly different. So 419,952 Rand and 39 cents. And if you go and have a look at any of the memos, and I'm sure your teachers would have told you this as well, it's perfectly acceptable for you to give either of those two answers. Okay, so even though they are slightly different, they are both seen as valid and correct. Okay, is everybody good with that? Okay, so here again, you just have to be aware of the fact that you would first have to subtract the deposit from the value of the loan. Okay, for your A value. All right, and then the very last thing, which I'm going to try and I wonder if I don't know, Meliswa, what's your opinion? Should I try and squeeze this in? The interest?
The last one.
Last one.
Yeah, but
okay.
Can I just... Okay.
Okay. Do you want to put the
link?
Quiz? Yes. Okay. You can put that up in the meantime, and I'll just quickly whip through this. Okay. So calculate the interest Thabo will have paid over the first 21 years of the loan. How much interest Thabo has paid. So now remember, okay, so the loan that you have to pay off is going to be the capital that you borrow plus interest. Okay, so how much interest will he have paid in the first 21 years? Well, we need to know how much he's paid off. So the amount of money that he would have paid off is going to be his outstanding balance subtracted from the value of the loan. That's how much of the loan he's been able to settle, right? So how much has he settled? He has settled remember he's borrowing 1050000, and he has settled. We can take this value over here, or we can work with our previous value. When I did this, I worked with the previous one, so I used 419. Ach, yes, like it. $419,948.32 means he's paid off 630,051 rand and 68 cents of his loan. Okay, because that was his balance outstanding at that 21-year mark. All right. Now let's work out how much money he's paid in total, right? Because remember, he has paid, the total he has been paying off 11,058 rand and 85 cents a month, okay? And he has paid that for 12 months a year for 21 years, right? So that means that he has made 12 times 21, he has made 252 payments of that in this period of time. Okay, which means he's actually paid back, look at this, guys, a whopping 2,786,830 rand and 20 cents. Look at how the banks take advantage of us. Hey, that's what, and he hasn't even finished paying it off. And remember, his house only cost 1,050,000, and look what he's already paid, nearly 3 times the amount. Okay, that's why you've got to try and save as much money as you can, so you don't have a massive home loan hanging over your head, because this is how the banks make money. They're very, very clever. All right, so that is what he has paid up to this point. So the difference between the amount of money that he has paid in total and how much he has settled off his loan is the interest. Check at this. He's paid 2,156,778 rand and 52 cents in interest. Isn't that staggering? Okay. Are there any questions?